IVM.
Hello and welcome to Football Twaddle. We are recording this episode few hours after their Klassiker, just because we wanted to watch that game and see if Dortmund are going to do anything about it. And as usual, they disappoint us. So to talk about this game and how the Bundesliga's restart is almost done and there's no interest in Bundesliga anymore, Jayant makes a comeback. What's up, Jayant?
Hi guys, how are you? Unfortunately, the Bundesliga title race is over now. You can call it.
So let's mainly talk about the game and let's talk about a few other things which happened on the weekend. The first thing, Jayant, why is Dortmund so stupid?
I don't know. I think it's just something about Bayern which gets to Dortmund. The last match that Dortmund actually lost was against Bayern Munich. The last time they didn't score was against Bayern Munich. Dortmund is a really attacking team. Their goals to game ratio is humongous, but I think Haaland was slightly off pace also yesterday. He had a couple of good chances. Apart from that, they were restricted to a lot of long range shots from Dahoud, and I think it'll take something special to beat Neuer from long range. They just didn't seem to cover out a lot of chances, unlike Bayern, where Lewandowski hit the post. There was that clearance from Piszczek off the line, etc. So yeah, I think Bayern deserve to win.
Why does it always seem like Bayern just know what to do? They just get on the field if they have to win a game or draw a game or not lose a game, whatever. They just know what has to be done and they do it and they win. This is a team which fired Niko Kovac in November. They were, I think, 4th or 5th. People were talking about, is this Leipzig's year? Then is this Gladbach's year? Is this Dortmund's year? And Bayern are like, no, it's always only our year. What is about that winning mentality that they just know how to win?
I think it's, what they did, which was very good and which worked out well for them was, as you said, sacking Niko Kovac. If you see their record under Hansi Flick, it is just, I was just going through it and it's incredible. 24 matches, 21 wins, 75 goals scored. That's over 3 goals a game. 16 goals.
How many of those goals came against Paderborn? Or Union Berlin?
They scored 5 against Frankfurt as well. So, they're just insane. Goals against 16. Imagine 24 matches, 16 goals conceded. He's won 21 games out of 24. That's just insane.
Oh, on a side note, do you know how to use this thing called Power BI of Microsoft?
Power BI? No. I'm sure it's easy to understand.
It is. I'm just being lazy, man, because of this lockdown. There's an entry. I have come across a data set now from 2004 till 2019 of all the teams and their victories, losses, goals scored, and everything. I know. I'll share it with you. Okay, did you hear?
All leagues?
Yeah, all leagues.
Cool. I'll do something on R only with it.
Cool. Let me share that with you and see. By the way, did you hear Lucien Favre's post-match interview?
No. What did he say?
He said, "Lagta hai, at the end of the season, I am going. I will resign." And people are like, "Okay, you should. You're doing such a bad job of this." Last year, if you remember, Dortmund were leading the table, and then they had this spectacular fallout during the end of the season, and they lost the league. This year, they were doing well, and then in between they lose a match, they become third. Then again they do well to recover those points, and again they start losing. I don't think Lucien Favre should stay. Even if they finish second, this is a team which bought Thorgan Hazard, Haaland, Emre Can,
Julian Brandt.
Yeah, so they bought 4 or 5 really good players, and for you to just not even challenge for the title, that says. Oh, by the way, there was before Jose got the Tottenham job. The only concrete offer he had supposedly was from Dortmund. He had an offer on the table from Dortmund to take over mid-season. And so they were actively looking at replacing Lucien Favre now. But why? You think Dortmund are in this still phase of like we love Klopp. that,
No, I think it's extremely difficult for in the Bundesliga to sort of to compete with Bayern Munich. Looking at their revenue model, just looking at the players they have, any team who even finishes second, for Leipzig, for like Mönchengladbach. I know Leverkusen were trying to win the title this year. That's why they kept Havertz and stuff like that. But
oh, you know what
it's
happened? You know what happened to Leverkusen last night? No,
they lost.
they lost really badly.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's very tough for anyone to sort of to win the league. See, even this year, like Bayern were doing terribly for so long, and terribly for them meant like or they didn't lose. They drew with Werder Bremen. Oh, sorry,
Oh,
they lost 4-1 to Wolfsburg.
4-1 to Wolfsburg. Dude, but that's not the point. The point is when you buy five players, Haaland, the best striker in the world, supposedly young striker in the world.
But
You
he
bought
only came
Julian.
in Jan, right?
Bhai, we are already in May, end of May.
But you haven't played 2 months.
Dude, those are just excuses, man. This is a team which was good enough to like compete for Bundesliga last year. How is it that you add Thorgan Hazard? He came in the beginning of the season. You add Julian Brandt. You get Emre Can to bring you some stability.
But you're forgetting Bayern Munich got Alphonso Davies,
Yes, one 19-year-old refugee boy.
who's supposedly, he's obviously had a very, very, very good season. He's had a breakout season.
Yeah. Did you
Uh,
see that one move where Alfonso Davies ran back to stop Haaland? Oh
yeah, yeah,
man, what with the pace of these youngsters?
yeah. 35 or something. His top speed is 35 kilometers
Dude.
per hour.
You know, if Kiran Rijiju had seen this video of Alfonso Davies, he would have called him to Sports Authority of India for trials. That's how good Alfonso Davies is.
For trials. And then what would have happened after that?
Oh, you know what happened, right? Just like since this is a show and we're primarily talking about one game, you know that girl, her father was injured and then she cycled like 1,000 kilometers
With the
to.
father, yeah.
Yeah, so you know what happened after that, no? The aftermath of it.
Oh,
So
Kiran Rijiju.
one of the minister tweets to Kiran Rijiju. First of all, Ivanka Trump tweets that everyone in this country wants to be a cyclist. She's the talk of the nation, bravo, and everything. And people are like, no, you don't. Like, she just was driving like it was so bad that she had to ride her like dad back home. It's that bad. Then some other minister of the government tweets, such is the talent we need to nurture. She has the natural talent for cycling. And Kiran Rijiju is like, we will speak to her and we will get her a trial and everything. And finally, what happens was that the girl said, look, I'm really tired. I'm pissed off. she's like, I'm so pissed off that I have to like, ride a cycle and get my father home. There were no facilities and I just want to study. So please leave me alone and get away from me.
If there's so much talent, why can't you find 11 good footballers in the country?
Oh, talking about which, there are two very good footballers I'm going to talk to on Friday, Amrinder Singh and Rainier, this Friday on Insider app, or just go to Mumbai City FC's Facebook page and you will see me ask all sorts of questions on Punjabi music and Marathi food to these chaps. We don't talk about football ever, Jayant. Football is just a ruse. So getting back to the game, Thomas Muller, man. This is just an appreciation statement on Thomas Muller. That guy may not be a very good footballer, but he is probably one of the most intelligent footballers around.
True.
I guess both those statements make sense, right? You could be really shit at like scoring goals, or you could be very shit at your skill level, but you could be so fucking smart that you always know how to create space.
Correct. I think if you think about it, like I don't know. Does Joshua Kimmich also fall into the bracket? Like, yeah, I don't know. He doesn't
No,
have crazy
Kimmich
speed.
has way more skill level than Thomas Muller.
Muller, when you look at him, you wouldn't think that he's like this crazy athlete who'll score like so many crazy goals. But he does have, yeah, he's very intelligent about how to create space and all that. He does have certain level of skill also. Like I've seen him in build-up plays and all,
Obviously, he's playing for Bayern. He will have certain skills. I'm not saying that he's like complete dodo, but for a guy to do so well in his career and be for so
yeah.
long in Bayern, his skill level doesn't match up. It is just like I think he just knows. He's like Ozil in some form. Imagine if Ozil
Ozil
with
has skill, yeah. Ozil has
Ozil
tremendous
Ozil
amount
with
of
less talent. That's what
yeah.
Muller is. Did you see some of the tackles on Lewandowski?
I mean, I remember one really good tackle he made. Like Lewandowski was just carrying the ball and check. This was like
Dude, that was a foul. It was not a
that
really
was
good.
not a foul. That was really not a foul. He got all ball.
Oh yeah. Oh, you. That was not elbow. The way you did the elbow, I was like, okay, I was thinking of something else. The one he got
No,
the
no.
ball and then got Lewandowski's ankles, right?
Correct, correct, correct.
Oh yeah, that was not a foul at all.
Hmm.
Anyway, so to conclude, Bundesliga started 2 weeks ago, and Bundesliga is over 2 weeks.
When it started, everyone was like, "Oh, 4 teams separated by 4 points," and now it's like, only if Leipzig win, then like it'll be 7 points. I mean, Leipzig, in all honesty, if they hadn't drawn the first game that they came back, there could have still been a 5 point difference. But
Dude, I'm telling you, Leipzig is also at least Nagelsmann is a new coach, so there is still some hope from him. All these people like Lucien. See, the problem is if you appoint managers who are decent managers but who have not won for like 15, 16 years,
hmm,
you will not get that winning mentality. The trick is
and
to catch managers young when they are winning things. And
yeah, and when they are like, when they have new ideas, I guess.
yeah, like what is Favre's ideas coming second? He's like specialized in it. That's what he does. So Leipzig has a game today, but even if they win, they will be at 71 points, and Bayern is at 81. So Hansi Flick. Did you see Karl-Heinz Rummenigge at the stand yesterday wearing the mask? He
Yeah,
looked
yeah,
like
yeah.
Bane.
And Hansi Flick was not wearing a mask.
Yeah, chod yeah. We won't play.
No, but sorry, for that thing, Bayern Munich's on 64 points, Leipzig's on 54. So
Bayern
if
Munich
Leipzig,
64, Leipzig 54. If
yeah,
Leipzig wins, they'll be 57.
so
And then
7 points.
next week, they'll beat Dortmund somewhere, and Dortmund will go third. And Erling Haaland will be like, oh, this is not the team for me. I need to go to like Manchester United to fulfill my career.
No, I mean, honestly, he's a lifelong Leeds fan. So if Leeds get promoted, no
He's a lifelong Michu fan. So he'll go play in Spanish third division.
rubbish. He's a lifelong, his father played for, I think, Leeds, Alfie
Dude,
Haaland.
he is a very big fan of Michu.
He wants to play for Leeds United, and his dream is to win the league for Leeds United.
He'll play for that maniac Bielsa. He will ruin his career and end his career in 3 years.
Amazing guy. We're talking about coaches doing like different things.
Bielsa does the same thing. All his teams get tired by Jan.
I think Leeds, yeah. I don't know. It'll be nice to see. I think Haaland will. I mean, he does the 6 months thing a lot, right? Like at Salzburg, also he was only there 6 months
Hmm.
or something like that. At Molde, where was he before Molde? Yeah,
Yeah. With Mr. Ole Gunnar.
yeah.
I think Ole would have been a perfect Arsenal manager. Like you had Arsene Wenger for Arsenal. Now you have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for like the gun.
Oh, Lord.
They should just look. Their appointments are turning out as bad as they are. You could as well use my methodology.
No, but I think we should also talk a little bit about Kimmich. Like, when Lam retired, everyone is like, oh, how are you going to replace Lam?
That is
And
us.
like,
That is us, dude. If you ask Pep Guardiola, he would have said Joshua Kimmich. If you ask anyone, if they would have just answered Kimmich. Kimmich is quite political as well because other players are just like nice to the press and everything. Kimmich just speaks his mind out. So
good
even
stuff.
after the World Cup, he spoke his mind out quite a lot. And he said, no, we were not good enough. Our tactics was old. Basically, just put a lot of pressure on Joachim Low. And because Kimmich is so good, you can't even drop him from the team.
He's brilliant. And he can play
Yeah.
so many different positions. Right back, right midfield, DM. His delivery on set pieces is fantastic.
Why are there not more players like that who are good in every position?
Well, I mean, I guess
Yeah,
I
I
don't
guess
know that
football is a
Leipzig
special
can't play
game.
different positions, but Kante I don't know why. I just don't understand why Kante just people don't play him as a DM. Like he's the best. He's won like different champions. Like different trophies with different clubs in that position. Why are you playing him in a different position?
No, I get what you're saying. That's not what I'm saying. My question is, why are there not more players who are so good in like different positions?
Multifaceted. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Like, well, Lam was always a right back till Pep Guardiola said, no, you're my central midfielder. No, you're my left back. And then he just
That's
moved
what Pep
on.
does. No, to be fair, Pep does that a lot. Like even Danilo, he plays right back, left back.
And now Danilo is
Zinchenko,
shit in every position.
Zinchenko plays left midfield for Ukraine. He plays left back for CPE.
Left
So
midfield, even Ryan Sessegnon plays left wing for whatever country he plays. So,
yeah, Sessegnon plays left wing for Tottenham also. Left back, he
um,
only played for Fulham. Sorry.
no, so now he wants to become a left back also. But man,
Because
Bayern
England
has
needs a
such a
left back.
good team. We have to talk actually a little bit of Bayern. I mean, as shit as Dortmund and Lucien Favre are, Bayern have like Joshua Kimmich, they have Alfonso Davis. Isn't Alaba still playing well?
Alaba, not sure. But I mean, they have Thiago. I don't think Thiago even played yesterday.
Yeah, they don't need Thiago all the time. They got in a substitute Javi Martinez. He's like some 36-year-old tree, right?
Yeah, but I mean, imagine they did that yesterday without Thiago, who's probably makes the most passes per game for Bayern. Uh, Amazing. Like, and then they have Muller, Lewandowski,
Yeah, that
Coman,
is a team.
Gnabry,
See,
like
that,
crazy.
that is a team that has truly
Perisic,
moved on from like the Robben Ribery hold on the team. They've
yeah.
actually seemed to moved on and found a thing. I think this Dortmund, they're just getting paid to run around the ground every weekend. I was so disappointed, dude. What was that second half? That second half is just like just raising a white flag and said, "Sir, please don't beat us up. Let us live our lives."
Haaland, I think Haaland just had one of his off games. There was I think if you just put a runner on like Alfonso Davis was just had him yesterday.
Yeah. So let's take a break right now. After the break, there are two more things about the game, and then we will discuss for a very short period of time. Project Restart. Only English always give a name. Bundesliga didn't have Project Restart. English na. They're such consultants, England fellows. इसका नाम क्या रखे? Project Restart.
Yeah, no, what is stay alert?
Yeah. So let's take a break, and after the break, let's continue this nonsense, whatever we are doing. Stay tuned to Football Twaddle.
Hey everybody, welcome to another week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money. Do definitely check out our social media accounts. We've been doing some really cool stuff over there. There are a bunch of recommendations from hosts. I think you'll really enjoy the content that we're putting out there. And make sure you don't miss your favorite shows. Cyrus has been putting out some great stuff, as is the Pragati podcast, all about policy. Has been doing some really, really fun stuff. The guys at Football Shitball and Football Twaddle are continuing to release episodes as well, which are really interesting. Best of Anupam's been having guest after guest, just killing it. Puliabazi's been doing so well. Postcards from Nowhere. All these shows are really, really doing well. And really, really putting out great stuff. Appreciate the efforts that the hosts are putting in the lockdown. And I hope you guys are enjoying this stuff. And with that, let's continue with the show.
All right, welcome back. Jayant is here. Jayant, the final question on the Der Klassiker. Was it a handball?
Oh yeah, great question. I actually thought it was shot was on target. It went for a corner. He clearly moved his arm towards the ball.
It was a handball, right?
Yeah, I think it should have been a penalty.
So why didn't VAR give it? There are two theories in this. One is VAR just went to sleep, or that Dortmund were under so much pressure and they were trying to do things so fast that it took the corner so fast.
Yeah. I mean, there's another angle to this. Maybe like if there was a crowd, like not the fake crowd that there is right now with the fake ambience, but if there was a crowd, would the crowd have put more pressure on the referee? Probably then the referee would have reacted and
done something about it.
Yeah, but then if that was a penalty, then there was a foul at the other end which Akanji made on Lewandowski. Which was also like border. I mean, that wasn't shoulder push. That was just like a push.
That was, as I love Lewandowski. I wear his jersey wherever I can. Not in front of Polish people though, but that was just a shoulder push.
No, but I think this home advantage thing is
gone. That's something you pointed out on WhatsApp as well while watching the game. That Bayern is the only home team which won on the weekend.
On the weekend, yeah. And the weekend before that, Dortmund, I think, was the only home team that won. So there have been 22 games. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the games that are happening tonight, but till at the time of recording, there have been 22 games. 3 have been won by the home team. 3.
Yeah, and yesterday Bayern won away 1-0,
Correct.
and Leverkusen and Wolfsburg beat Leverkusen away again 4-1. So
Yeah.
home advantage is just gone for toss. That's why I'm saying, dude, once the league restarts in England and in Spain, you're going to get a lot of different results. It's just going to be so
Absolutely.
weird. And then
Absolutely.
people will realize it's so much more fun without the crowds because you're getting unpredictable results, and they'll ban crowd from stadiums forever.
Schalke lost 3-0 to Augsburg. Schalke at home.
Yeah, but Schalke is so bad they lose to everyone, home and away.
No, not. I mean, Schalke is not doing badly.
Dude, Schalke, they have this, I think, the second biggest wage bill. Wagner has done all right job, but they are just like a flimsy team. They are. It's like how Fulham bought so many players last year and are going to get relegated. Something like that it is.
Sunderland.
Okay, let's talk about Project Restart. Where are we in Project Restart?
So there are apparently a few meetings today on moving to the next level of contact football. I think contact training now. So I think they are expecting it to not be vetoed and to move forward. I mean, there are a few more players who are getting tested positive. Like I think Aaron Ramsdale has recently got tested, but if you test 1,000 people, like 1 or 2 will test positive. I think that's bound to happen anywhere.
Have you realized that the players we don't like never get tested positive?
Players we don't like.
Yeah.
Like who?
Like whoever, just pick like 2-3 players you don't like in the Premier League. They will be healthy. Then they will always test negative.
I mean, I don't know. Like who don't you like? Okay, Saru, who don't you like?
Okay, who don't I like? Let's just pick Anthony Martial. Like he's just annoying. I mean, don't like is fine. I find him annoying. Like I just find him so overrated, and like he only rates himself much more than anything. So yeah, he will always test negative. It's like, Aaron Ramsdale, poor people like that who always get tested positive.
I mean, I don't understand the philosophy also. They're saying, we're going to keep it anonymous, whoever tests positive, and then so there are 2 players at Bournemouth who tested positive, Aaron Ramsdale and someone else. So the someone else they want to keep anonymous, but Ramsdale, why don't they keep anonymous?
I'll tell you why. Because when the league starts, when you don't see Ramsdale at goal, he'll be like, "Arey, isse kya ho gaya?" So they'll be like, "No, that someone else would be a fringe player."
Oh, like that.
Dude,
but
fringe players, whether
tested positive,
yeah, Adrian Mariappa, come on, he is like a regular starter, and for
now,
like
recently.
For a good part of my life, I thought he was
from South Indian now. Just because he sounds Indian, it's important.
For a good part of my life, I thought he was from Coorg. I was like, who is this cool guy, Adrian Mariappa?
So I think for Project Restart, they first said 12th June, but now they're saying maybe 19th or 26th June. I think La Liga is starting
on 8th June.
12th June.
I don't know. Last I read was 8th June. I guess it depends on when Messi wants to start playing. So
no, I think 12th June is more likely. Yeah, I mean, good to see more football on TV now that this stupid Bundesliga title race is over.
Yeah, Bundesliga is done, and
I mean, even in the Premier League, the title race is done. I think there are other stories which might be interesting.
But Premier League, though, we watch Premier League the most, right? So the incentive to watch Premier League is always there. Like you want to watch Arsenal like lose every second game, and I want to watch Jorginho play every week and get abused. So we all have our own things going on here.
The more interesting dynamic about Arsenal now is just to see if they've developed under, like, now Arteta's had like a preseason with them. Like, how has he been able to establish his playing style? That's something that I'm interested in.
तुम लोगों को क्या बना रहा है वो आदमी और तुम बनवा भी रहे हो.
I actually wanted him to come like last year.
His claim to job was, I speak to Pep.
Okay, like, I mean, what was Emery's claim to fame? That he has had a pet name.
Unai Emery, at least he won some UEFA Cups, no?
Great.
God, like people winning things also is not considered now. But even I'm interested. There always some new manager has to be coming. At least Arteta seems determined, not like Gary Neville and Paul Scholes and everything.
Paul Scholes.
See, I knew you would say. Paul Scholes went to manage a team. He managed it for 32 days and he was kicked out of the club.
Oh, great.
And this was when he was abusing Jose Mourinho as manager of Manchester United or something. Or right, and then he got fired 1 month after Mourinho's United stint, something like that, 1 or 2 months after that. And Mourinho was like, "Oh, it's not that easy like talking in the studio, is it?"
No, even, I mean, if you go by that logic, even the Thierry Henrys and the Patrick Vieira's of the world.
See, I mean, I'm quite excited to see how Lampard's career will go, Arteta's career. Patrick Vieira is putting in a lot of time to become a proper manager.
He's not doing well.
Yeah, of course he's not doing well, dude. They're all bacha managers.
No, but Lampard's doing well. I mean, by that logic.
Yeah, but Lampard has the whole setup, no? Like, he has the whole
Lampard
setup.
also came through good. Like, he did well with Derby County. And I mean, he's been through the whole...
That's the whole question, right? Did he? He was second at one point, and he missed out coming to the Premier League. So that's
for a new manager, yeah, I think he did well. If you see Gerrard, like, what is Gerrard done? Wow, great. In the Scottish League, dude, come on.
But look, I guess all of them have to like find that one thing and then keep on. Like, even if you look at Jurgen Klopp's career, Mainz, he did 7 years. He did very well with them, right?
Yeah.
So he had to just keep them in the league. And then he moved to Dortmund, and it so happened to be that Dortmund was bankrupt, correct? So he got the time, but he built them into a winning team in 3-4 years, and that's where he made his name. Some luck has to go your way, but if you keep at it, then probably you will do well. Otherwise, you'll probably go the Pochettino way, with like, oh, he's such a good manager.
I still think like Pochettino is a really good manager. Like,
he is. He's a great manager, but he spent. I was surprised to know that Pochettino is like 50 years old. And he was always called the young breed of managers.
He was like, I mean, at Southampton, he was managing for a few years. Then at Tottenham, I don't know.
He was 3 years at Southampton, 5 years at Tottenham before that Espanyol. That's the whole point, no. So he's not like a young manager also anymore. My old man Mourinho is like 57, right? So if Poch is like 50, 51, he's just not that young.
I think the loss in the finals, I think that really got to him.
He should have saved some of the crying for the finals also.
I think Poch will bounce back. I think he'll do well.
I know, at Newcastle. Oh, did you hear that? By the way, the last thing we need to talk about Project Restart is Rafa Benitez. Now that Newcastle may be bought by the most despotic kingdom in the world, Benitez wants to come back to Newcastle, and he's like, I am the guy for Newcastle. He said the only problem I had was that this Mike Ashley fella, now he's gone, so please get me back. So he's making his move, and that is why you're seeing the spate of Pochettino interviews everywhere. I am ready. But
the latest thing I read was that the takeover is not happening now.
No, it'll happen. It's just
in serious doubt.
Do you stop reading clickbait headlines? Serious doubt.
I'm reading bloody Guardian, dude.
So what is serious doubt? One fellow must have had a doubt which was serious.
Breach of international law.
Like what?
WTO rules pirate TV channel in South.
Dude, it's okay. That kingdom has money, they'll overcome all of this. All right. So, Jayant, first of all, thanks to you. So, if anyone wants to get in touch with Jayant, J_Ganju on Twitter, and we are at the rate Footy Twaddle. And if you like this podcast and you want to check out other podcasts of IVM, please go to IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. And you can also follow them on social media at the rate IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Or follow us and we will lead you to them. All right, Jayant. Take care, man. Hoping to see some other league this weekend. Start watching Danish league. It's starting 29th.
I mean, Belarus league hasn't stopped. So
yeah. So just start watching them. All right, dude. Take care.
Take care.
Entertainment is like food for the brain. It's a window to culture and a great way to understand the world around us. The internet has changed what it means to be an entertainer, creating new storytellers with millions of fans. It has spawned a new breed, the story sellers, those behind the scenes creating the business for this ecosystem. They work with brands, platforms and channels who are keen to capitalize on an audience hungrier than ever for more stories. I'm Vineet Kanabar, and I have a ringside view to how stories are told and sold. On my show, I bring you creators, artists, executives and marketers for a freewheeling conversation around the business of entertainment. Tune in to Storytellers and Story Sellers for personal stories, analysis and criticism every Thursdays as I talk to the brightest minds telling or selling great stories today.
Did I just catch you on your way to work? Or did you end up pulling an all-nighter? Let me guess. You have a packed schedule for the day, the week, and probably the month and the year. That's a lot for your mind to handle, don't you think? This buzzing chaos also brings tons of negative thoughts. Am I right? Try spinning that bottle in a positive direction with me, Chetna, on the Positively Unlimited podcast, every Monday on IBM Podcasts. It's time to change your life one alphabet at a time.